Hey everybody, it's Simone and Eric, and we have returned from our Alaskan cruise on the Encore. And we had a great time, so we thought we'd review some of the stuff that we did and talk about our cruise. What do you think?
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
We left from Seattle, which is a beautiful port. We spent a day there before we actually cruised, and we got to see a lot of Seattle attractions and get around. And Simone got to go to her Mecca.
My Mecca?
Yeah. She went to Starbucks, the original Starbucks.
Oh, the original Starbucks. Yes, my Mecca. Okay.
The original Starbucks in Seattle.
But I didn't get to go inside because it was too crowded. There was a line an hour long, but I got pictures of the outside of the Starbucks, of the original outside sign that's just these letters, Starbucks. And then the original door, I think, with the original address on it that had never been changed. That was cool. Inside, they've redecorated it. I could peek in. It didn't look retro or anything, so I didn't miss much. Although I needed coffee the entire day we were there. But the public market at, what is it called?
Pike's Place.
Pike's Place public market was just so much fun. And if it hadn't been a Saturday and perfect weather and lots of people coming in for their cruise before the next day, it was so busy. It was one of my favorite places I've ever been to that was an open public place in this country. It was so alive. And so many local businesses there, little ones, not just like the Starbucks that was there originally. It was just full of energy, and it was a beautiful day, and yeah. But I had no coffee. But I did on the ship. That's later. But I did on the ship. Okay.
So we spent the night there Saturday night, and we left on Sunday. And that's Modi making some noise.
Yes, that's our parrot.
We may bring her down if she gets too much out of hand, but she's just very happy to see us.
Yeah.
So we left, we spent the night there Saturday night, and we left early Sunday morning. And I think the boarding process to get on the Encore was very, very easy. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it was, well, we had a Haven suite, so, not a suite, a Haven room. And it was very cool because we got to go in a different line and then to get into the boarding process area, and then they took us to a separate area, and we got to sit there for a while until the ship was ready, and then they put us, we went right in. We were technically the first people in.
Yeah, it was nice. They gave us snacks. I think it was some breakfast food.
They had like light breakfast food, like a continental breakfast, but we had already eaten like a full meal earlier, and so we just got water, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, we didn't use it to its optimum, but we had never done Norwegian or Haven. We didn't know how it was set up.
We didn't know. But there was one thing that we noticed right away, a difference between the Encore and Norwegian Cruise Line ships and the Disney cruise ships, is when you enter on the Disney, you enter into a giant atrium, and they announce you as you come in. You come into almost a big ballroom kind of an area.
Yeah, and they have some of the characters. It's really exciting. They play music, and they announce you like it was a royal ball. It's very fun. The Washburn family, but not with the uppity accent like I just did. I have no idea where that came from.
Depending who the cast member is.
Yeah, I guess so.
but on this, when we came in on the Encore, it's like entering a hotel.
Yeah.
It's a matter of fact, there really isn't a lobby where you enter. You're entering right to a row of elevators. There isn't this big disconnect from one world to another.
No.
But so, like Simone said, we were in the Haven, and they took us immediately over to the Haven area where we were.
It was a different world.
It was. It was.
It was beautiful.
Very much so, and they had give us a little bit of background on the Haven and what things were available to us there, and there was a giant viewing area with this huge window that we could look out the front of the ship, and we knew that would be awesome.
And yeah, everything in the Haven is towards the front of the ship. And especially on this ship, which was built for Alaska, basically, possibly Norway too. When they used to take stuff over to Norway, they still do. But it is. I mean, they had the the group, what do you call it? The group area, waiting room area, where there was a bar and everything right where the concierge was. Very comfortable. Big lounge. It was bigger than the one on the Disney ship. And then you could go out, and they had a pool and what they call the sunroom, because they have these windows open, and it's all enclosed, and a nice little pool and a lounging areas for, you don't have to swim. It's not like a big pool. And then it went into the observation lounge from there, and they had food there and snacks there, and they had their own bar in the observation lounge. And then they had a balcony, go up the stairs, and they had a game room, like they had some board games, and you could also sit up there. And they didn't have a separate bar or anything up there, but you could take your drinks up there or your food up there from downstairs. You couldn't see as much from up there, but if you wanted to play a board game at night or something, you're free to go in there whenever, even if the bar was closed or whatever. You could just go play a board game. And we saw a really great version. I think it was one of those Centennial versions or something, of Monopoly, with all the that was beautiful, made of wood and everything. And we never got a chance to play it, but I would have really liked to play that, just to use that board. It was cool there.
And right after orientation there at the Haven, our room was immediately ready.
Yeah.
We went right from orientation to our room, and the room is really beautiful. And here's some shots of the inside of the room. But one thing that really stood out to me was the shower. We had a bath and a shower. It's the same enclosure.
Yeah, it's the same enclosure.
But the shower was something very futuristic, and we had seen something similar to it over
in Vegas once.
Nemacolin.
Yeah, Nemacolin in the Laurel Highlands in Pennsylvania, which is a resort.
Yeah. There was one interesting aspect of it, and you pointed that out about.
Yeah, because I was the first one to try to use the shower, and there had 3 different heads you could use. You could use a big rain shower head, or one that you picked up and sprayed yourself and held it. And then they had these jets coming out of the bottom of the actual unit that set up that you could choose your choices. Well, the jets, which would have been great if they were more of them or they were taller up, would only have hit somebody like in the back or the lower back or the legs or whatever if they literally were like 5'4" or 5'5". I have very long legs. I'm short from here, but so it didn't come anywhere near really my back, and I'm 5'10". So, and you really would have had to have short legs, period, whether you were tall or not, to get anything on your back, which is sad, because that would have been great, if after you're hiking in Alaska or wherever you go, it would have been great. But it felt warm, it felt nice. It just wasn't in the right places for jets to go like this on. So, but it was great that the rain shower head had great pressure. We were at the top of the ship. It was really nice. I would love to have that. That's one of the things I would love to have in the Disney concierge. Yeah. But I mean, they have different situation, because in concierge and in the veranda rooms, you have one side is the toilet and a sink with a vanity water closet, and then on the other side is a toilet, and not a toilet, a shower and another sink with a mirror and another vanity. And that's great for 2 people, and in other situations, because they can get 4 people, 5 people in those concierge rooms if they're kids. And I like that a lot. But it was okay, because they did have the toilet in the same room as everything else. But in an emergency, they had a clouded glass partition between the actual toilet and the rest of the bathroom. So, I wouldn't suggest using it that way all the time, but in an emergency, it would work.
And they did have 2 faucets at the sink.
Yes, they did have 2 faucets at the sink. It was a little close to have 2 people in there, but you could do that if you were in a rush to get ready at the same time. Like we could brush our teeth or whatever at the same time.
Something that we've always done on Disney is we've always gotten containers of water, and they normally bring in a Dasani or other type of water in plastic bottles, and we get like a case of water, and we store it underneath the bed.
And we put some in the fridge, because there's a fridge.
Oh yeah, we always want to keep it cold. This time we got water, but it did not come in a case of water or a case of plastic. It actually came in boxes or cartons of water.
Right.
Which I thought was pretty unusual.
And he's got a picture of them.
Yeah.
Or a video or something of him drinking it.
Here's me drinking carton of water.
I'm going to let you know it's alkaline spring water. So let me find out how good this is. It tastes like water. But it's water in a box.
Which was completely new to him. It had like some kind of insulating, it looked like aluminum foil kind of thing to keep it cold inside. And it was completely vacuum sealed. It was, I mean, it tasted great. It was alkaline water. It didn't taste bad or anything. It was just weird. And we didn't, we'll talk about this later, but we brought our metal bottles that we usually fill up on the Disney cruise ships at the soda things, but with water even. You can do it in ice and so it stays cold. We couldn't use them really because of the way their unlimited package of water, I mean, of ice and ice drinks and it works.
Yeah.
There's some good things, sort of, and
not
bad
so good
things.
things.
Yeah, but
Not
that's
so good.
another day's
Yeah,
thing.
we'll-
We didn't know any of this by this time. We're the first day, right? We're totally like, look at this great room. It was a great room. It really was.
Beautiful room. You can
Perfect.
see how nice it is. We really enjoyed it. We
And the
we
veranda
liked
was
the-
perfect,
Yeah,
too.
we liked the extended veranda.
I would get that room definitely again if we did that same cruise with them. Yeah.
And after we got settled in, it was time to do our muster drill. And it's not quite virtual, but it's probably as close as you're going to get virtual nowadays.
Right.
It's much different than the olden days. And then we had to go to our muster station, which is on your card. Here's a picture of the card with the muster station. That's very similar to Disney. And but we didn't all have to meet at the same time there. We just went at our convenience, as long as you did it before the assigned
Yeah, like
time.
half an hour
Yeah,
before,
we were
were
going to
supposed to depart.
And they give you a quick spiel there, 3 or 4 people at a time down in the muster area. You do it, and then you head back to your room. There is one thing I want to comment on about the difference between DCL, Disney, and the Encore, because that's something Simone and I know. We cruise a lot on Disney, and this is our first
Non-Disney
Norwegian
cruise, and first Norwegian one.
Is on the Disney, there is an expectation for you to go back to your room and to collect warm clothing, medication, and your life jacket. On the Norwegian, or at least on the Encore, the expectation is you immediately head to the muster area, and they will provide you with your life jacket there. So there are no life jackets actually
In the room, like there are in Disney, in the closets on the top shelf.
That is correct. And if you need medication or warm clothing, then they'll have somebody escort you back to the room to get it, or they'll have a member of the crew go and collect it for you. Which
Right.
I thought
I liked that. Yeah.
I'm not say one's better than the other, but this is just a difference.
Right, it is. Depends on. Also, we don't know if this is different because we normally do Caribbean cruises for
Yes.
scuba diving versus Northern Pacific, where they have crazy storms
Yeah.
sometimes that blow in, like the one that's coming up for California right now, the hurricane. So anyway, separate from that. Literally, it could be because of that, we don't know. So people that have done a lot of Norwegian cruises that are on YouTube and stuff, they may have a different thing because they went on a different ocean or sea or whatever. So
By the time we finished all that, it was time for lunch. We wanted to go get something to eat. It was kind of a late lunch, but we headed over to one of the pay-per locations called American Diner. And they had something special for us that day.
yes, because they were trying to give people that were doing the Haven a taste of a lunch place they could go to, that if they had if they bought the pay for dining places,
package.
not just the package, right, thank you, that they could try out for free on the first day only. So we saw they had milkshakes, so we decided to go there instead of a main dining room.
And unfortunately, the milkshakes were not covered in
By
the
the free. Yeah, they're very big. They weren't that big is what I would call
they
big,
are.
but all the stuff on top was big.
Yeah.
But the milkshake itself, but they were fancy milkshakes. And they were mine was really good. I don't know how you liked yours, but
Yeah, it was really good.
it was $7 each. And then we didn't know at this time about the tipping policy, which we will talk about another time, but we also tipped them on top of that. The food was it wasn't like real diner food. It was like going to a drive-in movie, like chicken wing, chicken planks or whatever,
Yeah.
or a hamburger and stuff. I forget what I had. The sandwich I had was okay. I think it was a chicken sandwich, but it was nothing special. Like, I would
had
not have
cheese
wanted to
sticks.
waste. Yeah, oh, that's right. He just had cheese sticks because I was starving. If I eat breakfast in the morning, 4 or 5 hours later, I'm ready for more food, So it was okay, but I would not have wanted to use one of my pay for, since the pay for part doesn't really literally cover the milkshakes, even if you have the package. I would not have wanted to use one of my things on that. From what I understand, it was better before COVID. There were some problems with quality of meat and stuff on the ship, except for a very couple of places. And so maybe that's just the way it is now post-COVID. I don't know. I've never heard anybody else say the same things that we personally experienced with certain aspects of the food, even at the pay-for package places. So that's all. But it was nice. It was free except for the milkshake. So
Yeah.
it was open still. We eat really late. So.
And immediately exiting the American Diner, you go right out to the deck with the pool and all of the topside entertainment. And they were having the sail-away party, and it was a DJ and a lot of dancing and people having a good time. It was fun. It was
so crowded down there because we got there a little tiny bit late because we got our bags really early because we were a Haven, I guess. I don't know. And we unpacked like most of it, and then we went down, tried to get down there because we wanted to seal the sail away.
Yeah, we wanted to.
It was really about the sail away for us viewing coming out of Seattle. It wasn't so much the party. Leaving the harbor felt like, oh wow, this is so different than what we're used to with Port Canaveral.
Well, Port Canaveral, yeah. On the Disney ship, we spend more time with the sail-away party itself.
Right, because they do a big show and then you dance and stuff. But it's usually really hot and I can't stay outside in that heat and the sun. So, but this was perfect weather.
We wanted to explore the ship a little bit, so we went down to the main atrium area, where they have a big open spot where they have live music and they do a lot of their games. And we got involved in a trivia game down there. Yeah,
that was fun.
That was fun. And guess who won?
First trivia game of the cruise, and the first time we were ever on a Norwegian cruise. It was a generalized trivia.
Yeah, it was a general trivia.
Which we actually won.
We've won several
of general trivias on the Disney show, on the pub trivias and the general knowledge,
trivia.
Not like all Disney stuff, because we fail so miserably on those, because we like Disney, we have fun with Disney, but we're not like Disney and trivia,
Yeah.
And this was our 29th anniversary cruise. It was kind of like our 30th anniversary cruise planned up and everything, because I didn't know if we were going to be able to go away next year and have a big cruise and everything. So I've been planning this for a year or so I was like, we won the first trivia.
We didn't get medals like we normally do.
No, on Disney. And they don't always have the medals. They give you something every time. Yeah.
But we did get these glasses.
These plastic water bottles.
Yeah. Here's a picture of those, and then
2 decks of cards.
Yeah, that's right. 2 decks of cards.
So we can go play penny poker with our friends.
Well, we did see people actually in the same area playing cards.
Yeah, you were allowed to play cards, of course. Yeah, and there's no gambling, but yeah.
Yeah, and the bars were near there, and we listened to a couple of bands. So that was, we knew that would be our main area to go to for adult entertainment.
Yeah.
After that, it was time for dinner.
Yeah, and for dinner on the first night, we went to the Texas Q Barbecue. Is that what it's called?
The Texas Barbecue. I call it Texas Steakhouse, but it's Texas Barbecue.
Barbecue, yeah.
Now, the interesting thing, since this was Sunday night, our night of departure, they had no live music there at the Q. So if you're planning on going on the Norwegian...
the first night.
That's right, to the Q on the first night, then...
They don't have their country music show.
Well, they don't have any show.
Or band or anything up there.
There's no show.
But we didn't care because we wanted the food. I wanted the food. I'm sorry. I was hungry.
Yeah, and what we ended up doing, and this was, since we had a dinner plan, we had a food plan, we were allowed to pick certain items on the menu well, like an appetizer, an entree, a dessert.
You get to choose one of each thing, which we didn't know. We thought when we were paying for it, not that we could have eaten more than that, but that we could have had multiple things,
Yeah.
and we didn't know that we couldn't do that.
Again, that's another difference from the Disney experience.
Right.
And we'll get into more detail about those kind of things. But what Simone and I ended up doing is she would order the brisket, and I ordered the pulled pork, and then we split them
half and half, yeah.
so we could both try. And I thought both the brisket and the pulled pork were very good.
I thought that meal, even though I'm not a big barbecue fan, the brisket was the best brisket I ever had, and the pulled pork was good. Not as good as what he cooks as pulled pork, but that might be because I get to pick my own sauce, But it was very tender and everything else, and they give you a big portion, so it's not like we were getting underfed.
No.
And you get sides and everything like that. I was quite full, but and we had a lovely waiter.
Yeah.
And
The staff was very good. We got to meet the
the captain, I guess you would call it a captain.
A maitre d'.
A maitre d' or whatever, but it's not really maitre d' because it's a barbecue. But from just really nice people, and they were fun. And even though they didn't have a show, we were laughing and joking around with them and had a great time.
We'll say this right now as we continue this, that the staff on the Encore were awesome. That we did not meet anybody that was problematic. They were very attentive to us. Mm-hmm. Everybody from the bartenders to the service personnel,
right.
Our stateroom host, our butler, the concierge team, everybody was just really
right.
Awesome.
And we have to talk about that later, but the concierge and the butler in the Haven area, they are not covered by any tip policy that the rest of the ship does.
Yeah, we'll have to go into
that's a different thing, but I just wanted to say that they do everything separately for you, and they go out of their way to do things, and but that's part of the Haven. The rest of the staff, they were just having fun with people. They were gregarious, and it was just we've never had bad service on Disney either, it's a different setup the way they do things. So it was really really, even when something went wrong, they were always really pleasant. I'm not just talking about in the Haven where they better be pleasant, because that's how they got to that position.
Sure.
I'm talking business here, sorry. But from our point of view, that doesn't matter. In your point of view, it doesn't matter. You're the customer, we're the customers in this case. So, but yeah, they were really great.